Good morning and welcome to a rather overcast day in the South Lakes. To think, just over a month or so ago, we were at Goodwood Festival of Speed when this was being unveiled. We have it on the drive and we've already road tripped it. And to think this was facelifted just over a year ago. MG really do mean business. Presenting the new MG HS. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. The HS is such an important car for MG. It makes up around a third of their sales, so it has to be the best it can be. And on this gen, wow. As far as vehicles go, it's relatively new. But it's not surprising when you look at the way and the speed that MG are evolving. I mean, just take the MG4. The thing is, everything's starting to align. The design language is becoming, well, one. Now we knew Goodwood Festival of Speed was going to be a special one, especially as MG was celebrating their Centenary. And we knew that MG HS was going to make its first appearance. And this was one that we certainly wanted to see. This is petrol. However, there's a hybrid too. But after road tripping this the other day, I'm quite staggered by the economy. I've read reviews that say 40 to the gallon. I was closer to 54, even when I was flooring it. It dropped to about 47, which I think is phenomenal for a 1.5 turbo engine with no hybridity whatsoever. Yeah, in a word, new HS is one heck of an upgrade, and it's across the board. Now, as I've mentioned, there's two powertrains. So you've got a hybrid system, and it's a brand new one, which offers, get this, 75 miles of pure electric range. The previous one was closer to 35. Granted, you have to plug it in, and it's not rapid charge. But let's get back to this one. So it's 4-cylinder, turbocharged, and 1.5 petrol. And it can shift. You can either go for a manual or the 7-speed DCT that we've got. But the thing that really staggers us about this, it starts at around £25,000. That is, it's peanuts for an SUV of this size. The thing is, it's far better than the previous one, and I thought that was pretty damn good. It's amazing how MG just keep bettering and bettering and bettering. And it's not with cheap tacky things, it's with real substance that builds the car. And take a look at the new interior. Dual screen, more comfortable seats. An MG Pilot, their safety suite, is on every vehicle. So there's no scrimping on safety, even if you go for the entry level. And it's got a rather good level of convenience too. Adaptive cruise, parking sensors, and one thing that really stands out on this compared to the previous gen is they've really uprated the camera, so it's higher quality. And it does feel a little more responsive and smoother. And to be honest, I can't find very much wrong with it. Maybe not a sliding seat in the rear, but that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. Now obviously the 25k is for an SE, but if you go for the trophy like ours, you get more functionality and more features. And this retails for around £28,000. One thing has disappeared, and it seems to have done across the full range: the panoramic. Now when it comes to something like this, you have to make it stand out from the general SUV mould. And they've certainly hit the nail on the head with this one. I mean, just look at the slimmed down headlamps. On the previous gen, everything was more bubbly. This is more futuristic and far more in keeping in MG's new design style. The semi-clamshell bonnet. The lines here, the lovely curvature. Even the nose cone has had a bit of work done. It's such an attractive SUV. They've just bettered all the features. It blends so well with the glosses, the tri-coat red with this black sporty lip spoiler. And even the front grille has been redesigned. It's a very smart SUV. And that's what I'm seeing all over the internet. People love this. And when you couple that with things like MG Pilot, so AEB, collision detection, pedestrian and bicycle detection, cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise, full auto LED lights with high beam assist, cameras and sensors throughout this vehicle, and great visibility with a lovely big windscreen. They've ticked pretty much every box. The only thing it doesn't have is adaptive lights. But the way things are going, wouldn't surprise me if they did turn up in the future. It's certainly a sporty number. You can really see where the bonnet sweeps in. Flared front arches and black gloss cladding to give it that off-roady look. Looking at this, I think we need an all-wheel drive. Just look at the space in the arches. As we've got the trophy, we get 19-inch wheels and they're wrapped in Bridgestone, if you've noticed. Rather a decent profile tyre, which makes it good on-road and off-road. Be pretty damn capable. I mean, just look at its ride height. The thing is, that doesn't compromise the ride on a motorway. I don't quite know what they've done to the suspension, but it feels grounded, almost to the level that you'd think it was an electrical vehicle because of the way it feels. And I mean that in a really good way. I like this. Relatively big side windows, no quarter light, and power folding door mirrors, blind spot detection, and they're power adjustable and heated. I love the addition of the black gloss trim that runs along the bottom of the window, and it contrasts so well with the chrome that runs over the windows. That's the thing, it's very easy to overchrome a vehicle, but this is the perfect balance, especially when you take in the side skirts. Look, they're not carbon fibre, but they do look it. And it's finished off with satin roof rails. Let's take a look inside and see what's changed. The doors open nice and wide, and that's a decent opening. No grab handle. I'll never get that. And we're met with soft touches. That's one thing that really appeals to me, because that's where I have my arm. Big padded armrest. And some stitching just lightens it all up. And look at the size of the door pocket. Before I step in, doors that cover sills. Excellent. Climbing in, well, child's play. I need to duck my head a little, but if you've noticed, this seat is raised up. So if I put it down, it'd be even easier. Wow. What haven't they changed? It's far more modern. It's more open, even though you've got this here, and you've got the dual screen. It's sleek and it's futuristic, and you can see MG4 elements throughout, and they really make it. I am going to miss the retro circular vents, but I can see why they've been phased out. They don't really suit this. By designing it like this, you've opened up the cabin. They've even refined the centre console. Decent sized storage pod, and you can adjust your headlamp height here. I wonder if that means it'll tow. It just amazes me how much you can change in interior. I mean, you've got that space to play with, but the way they've done it, they've really maximised the space. As for build quality, solid. Everything feels great. There's a mix of materials, soft touches and hard touches, but even the plastics, this, all soft touch. And the further you go down, yes, they're not quite as good, but they're still not what you'd class as cheap plastics. Rock solid, so I can literally shake it, and if you've noticed, there's nothing creaking. Substantial, but not at the cost of, say, comfort. A great balance. Lovely light headliner. The thing is, the previous gen was a damn good SUV. They've just really built on it. And if you read reviews online, you'll see that a lot of people rave about this. And I've always seen, like many journalists, that the interior and the seating was one of the strongest elements. And yet again, they've lifted it. Even more plush seats. Slightly more buckety and great for a long haul. Headroom, about 2 inches. And bear in mind, I'm 6'3". Fully electric seat, and I can adjust everything I need to, including electronic lumbar support. And there's even a memory function. I think we ended up sat in these for, I think it was around 5 hours, wasn't it, Annabelle?
Probably a bit longer, but boy were we comfortable.
That was it. We got out feeling rested and relaxed. Sometimes that type of time frame in a seat, you feel a bit move you around, and no, this is a new addition. So this monitors you. And to be honest, 9 times out of 10 is pretty good. It will get narked if it sees somebody's head move this way. But beyond that, no, it works quite well. And it's nice to have that extra level of overwatch, even with MG Pilot, which we know is an exceptionally good safety system. Speaking of that, some of the layouts have changed. For example, you don't actually have an adaptive button. You now have a button in the middle, which is a steering wheel, and that's your adaptive, and I presume some of your other safety is hinged to it. Everything's straightforward to use, and it's nice to see proper buttons. Little joysticks here, and a favouriting system. If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. There's a great flow throughout the vehicle, and just look at this new dual cluster. Because they've got rid of essentially the housing here, it looks far smarter. It's very easy to read. You can see your speedo, rev counter, petrol gauge and everything really easily. And always bear in mind, you've got reach and rake in the steering wheel anyway, so you can adjust till your heart's content. Moving on to the infotainment system, the same as the MG4. It's responsive, it's quick, and it's very simple to use. And you've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's not the fastest system we've used, but it's pretty damn good. You've got some live updates, and with Apple CarPlay, it's simple to switch back to the car's settings. Proper buttons too, so demisters, hazards, fan on and off. If you want to do anything more than that, you'll have to go into the screen, but it's relatively quick and easy. And finally, a home button. Keyless go, and we've got start stop too. Nice chunky stalks, 2 cup holders, USBs, 12 volt, and a shifter for the 7-speed. Reverse, neutral, drive, and if you knock it right, sport mode. And it really does transform the box. Park button, electronic handbrake with hill start assist and descent control. And there's an auto hold button. And yes, a wireless charger. An armrest that's just wide enough for Annabelle and myself. Storage pot here. Nothing's cramped. Everything's nice and visible and easy to reach. On the right hand side, you now have a power folding button for your mirrors. Auto dimming mirror, map reading lights and an SOS button. Glove box, not a bad size. This could do with being tightened up, but that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. We've got a footrest on the left hand side and great legroom. And I think that's your lot. Let's take a look in the back. I almost forgot. Adjustable seat belts and a decent sound system with good bass, mid and treble. And don't forget, with every MG, 7-year warranty, 80,000 miles. HS has a rather pleasing silhouette and the perfect portions. It doesn't look overweighted at either end, and with the short overhangs, it gives it a sporty look, and it also enhances handling and dynamics. Discs all round with the front vented, and you'll notice rear privacy glass. That never used to be a thing on MG. Let's take a look in the back. The door opens nice and wide, and it's a decent opening. Soft touches once again. It's nice to see that MG don't scrimp on the rear door cards, and a decent sized door pocket, especially for the rear. Stepping in looks to be relatively easy. Do note though, this is quite a high SUV, therefore you may notice a step up, but it shouldn't really be a problem. I did have to duck my head a little bit, but at my height I expect to. Once in, just look at the space I have. I can get my feet under the seats, recess area here, and mat pockets on both seats. What a rarity. One thing I'd like to see on the next gen is seats that slide virtually flat floor. Slight bit for the transmission tunnel, but that takes up virtually no space. Vents in the centre, lovely black gloss and USBs. Pull down armrest with 2 cup holders, and it feels big. Feels light and airy, even with the privacy glass too. But there's lots of light that can get in, and if you've noticed, the side windows are quite deep. And sat like this, my eye line's about here, which is perfect. Decent headroom, what's that, about an inch? And I'm sat how I would. Even if I lean right back, my head doesn't brush at all. Nice. Comfortable buckety seats, plush and supportive. And there is no recline. I'd also like to see that on the next gen. It's spacious, it's comfortable, and it's airy. Let's finish off with map reading lights, coat hook, grab handles above every door bar the drivers, and ISOFIX points and airbags around the vehicle. All in all, it's great for a family, and that's across the board. Let's take a look in the rear. One thing that would have been a nice touch is heated rear seats, but maybe we'll get those on the next gen. And now to arguably the best feature on the HS, its rear. Talk about sleek. The way that this rear tailgate tapers out, the full width light bar, and the slimmed down LED lights. And just look at those flared rear haunches. It's got a new prowess. And I'm especially fond of this section. The black gloss and this, it's like a carbon fibre style trim that wraps around the bottom of the rear diffuser styling, and this finishes it off nicely, but there is no exhaust exit. Nice to see a rear wiper, sporty rear spoiler, no shark fin, which means it must be incorporated into the windscreen somewhere, and it's finished off with parking sensors, a reversing camera and cross traffic alert. Ooh, I do like these black editions. Nice. Let's take a look in the boot. As we've got the trophy, we've got a power tailgate. Opens in a timely manner, and even though we're parked on an angle, I can just about stand up, so on the flat ground this should be absolutely no problem. Pull out load cover, it easily retracts, and a decent sized boot. No boot lip. And reinforced plastic so you don't damage any of the paintwork. Clever thinking. Storage point with nets on the left and the right, and it's a decent size. Absolutely no problem using this for a family holiday. Quite easily get 3 to 4 suitcases in there, and if you're going for shopping, what, 2.5 months worth? One emission shopping bag hooks. But this storage area with the net will quite easily house, I don't know, milk, bread, even a bag. Load cover, nice and easy to remove. Just pull in one end and lift. Takes a bit of anglage to work out where it goes, but once done, straight out. Let's take a quick look under the floor. Now this isn't the thickest by any stretch, but if you've noticed there's not a massive space, so it will keep it relatively rigid with a strong polystyrene. Safety and towing additions and an inflation kit. Now many of you will ask, will this remove? It's not meant to, but wow, that is massive. So yes, this will lift out too. Whether a spare wheel will go in there, I do not know. But there's a lot of space, I'll say that. Dropping the seats is nice and easy. You just pull in this and push forward. They are quite weighty. Now it doesn't lay entirely flat, but it's not bad. It certainly increases the space, and I quite easily get my EMTB in here without the front wheel, which says something, because that is a behemoth. This can be a bit of a pig to put in. The key is to get both ends to slide in simultaneously. There we go. Let's take a look under the bonnet. And the release is down here. Pull twice. No latch. Struts. Proper petrol engine. 1.5 turbo 4-cylinder. Time to see how it drives. Welcome behind the wheel of the new MGHS. Under the bonnet we've got a 1.5 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it's been reworked, so it's not the one that was in the previous gen, and you can tell that when you look at economy. Now we've got 7-speed DCT, but you could go for a manual. But to be honest, this is a damn good box, and it eats up motorway miles. Collision detection, parked cars. I think I'll jump into that actually. The safety suite is MG Pilot, so we've seen this on multiple vehicles, and it just gets better and better. It's got everything from AEB to collision detection, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and adaptive cruise control. And if you go into the infotainment system, you'll see it's got more than that. Just listen to how quickly it changes gear. It's rather intuitive. And every time that I've driven it, whether it's been on A roads, B roads or the motorway, it seems to always be in the right gear. But even if it isn't, to kick down is nice and quick and easy, and it's responsive. And on top of that, you've got sport mode. Knock it right and that transforms it. And within that second I've exceeded the limit. Oops. Great pull, but it's not surprising. A 1.5 with a turbocharger means it can really shift when it needs to. Pulling out of junctions, yeah, pretty quick. You may experience a slight bit of hesitation when pulling away, but if you want to eliminate that, just put it in sport. The thing is, it's nothing to write home about. The box copes very well with hills. If you've noticed, it's not unnecessarily dropping gears, it's nagging. Now, it'll only do it 3 times, so it's more Overwatch than I'm watching your every move, which is better. The thing is, it might get on your wick, but if you go into the settings, like on previous MGs, I'm sure you can, well, lessen it. But to be honest, it's the kind of thing I want. Speed limits change at the drop of a hat nowadays. Now, compared to the previous gen, it's a cut above in every way. And that seems to be the driving as well. I don't quite know what they've done. They've definitely done something with the suspension, because the other one wasn't wallowy, but it definitely did pitch a little bit. Whereas this, you can throw it into a bend doing a decent speed and you'll get a little bit of roll, but that just adds to the comfort. It doesn't unhinge it or make it less dynamic, because considering its size and its ride height, it sticks to the road like glue, quite literally.
It's a joy to drive, to be honest.
It is. Well, that's it, you drove it all the way to Liverpool.
I did. And having spent a fair amount of time behind the wheel, I can only agree with everything that you've said.
Yeah? Well, I'm going to kick down now.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. There we go.
Steering, even as standard, and that's on the normal setting, it still corners remarkably well. Great feedback, and when you put it in heavy, it is noticeably heavier. It's left me speechless. I didn't think the HS could get much better, bar economy and the odd eliminating body roll. But they've done that, plus so much more. It's practical, it's versatile, it seems roomier, which maybe they've done some clever stuff, clever trickery with the interior, like stepping back bits, allowing more space.
It does seem like sorcery though, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's perfect for the family. It's full of safety. Wow. Good brakes, as we just demonstrated. And it's fast enough. So I think it's 0 to 60 in around 8.5, which still isn't bad for an SUV of this size. The thing is, that's not what it's developed for. And the thing that really gets me, this starts at £25,000. Now I can rave about this till the cows come home, but the best bet is to continue with us on our road trip, and then you'll really see how this has transformed. On that note, I'll see you behind the wheel, well, in Liverpool. Thanks for watching.